Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily Hindu analysis video. In the morning these videos are coming, and in the evening the PIB videos they are coming. PDF you are getting on the Telegram channel and on my Facebook group that I've given on the last page, and important questions, datas, editorials we are discussing here. So please do not leave anything here, because these things are going to be very beneficial for you. PIB lesson is totally exam oriented, so there is nothing that you can leave here. And let's start the lesson here. These are the numbers there you can call and you can ask for these pen drive courses, and this is the website address here, and chat section is available. All courses are available at 60% off, and all are important courses created by experts and very beneficial for the 2020 and 2021 aspirants. These are the words that I found today, and try them into sentences. This compilation is also very important, that is being added daily. Now the issue is regarding Varanasi. Varanasi, you see, it appeared famously when Narendra Modi ji he was elected from that constituency. But now, for some years, many construction activities and all these things are going on, and you see it is not a metropolitan city. So it has characteristic of a backward area also. It has characteristic of a good city also. So that is the reason that many types of pollutions like biomass burning, vehicular emissions, brick kilns, diesel generator sets, all these things, they are polluting the area. Now you see, because of these regions, you see it is the common problem for most of the tier 2 cities in India, and that is why most of them, they are appearing in the worst list of the most polluted cities. Out of 15 most polluted cities in this world given in the list of WHO, 14 are there in India, and this is so shameful. You see, 15th number is for the Kuwait city, and all other cities, they are from India country. You see, so many countries in this world but India, because of its developing stage. But you see, it's all a mismanaged issue, it's all a rapid urbanization issue, and their people are not aware that much. People do not want to remain good citizens, and the policies, corruptions, everything is going on. And in these smaller cities, problems are so huge, because many clearances issues, quality issues, and anybody starts construction, no rule following, and everything is there. So that is why you see the condition like that. All cities are choked with this smoke and this dust, and this construction materials and all. They are spread everywhere. So these kind of scenes you will see everywhere. So maybe we are running the Swachh Bharat mission Abhiyan like these kind of things, but we need Swachh environment also, and this is the most important thing. And you see, it is the biggest question on our development, the most pressing issue. So it will appear in the prelims stage, and it will appear in the main stage also. In the mains also, you may write points like, this is the unique condition in our country only, where people were mainly living in village areas, rural populations are mainly living here, and now fastly turning into cities. So they do not know how to follow the rules, what kind of rules are there, what kind of ways there should be of people living in cities but living with the crude conditions and their crude ways of lifestyles. So this is why the people who are coming into these construction businesses and all, people who are becoming having some authority, people who are becoming politicians and all, so a lot of issues of ignorances are there at every stage, and that is the reason that these kind of consequences are there. But we are not actually addressing these issues, and we are bearing the burden of it. But the problem remains here, that who is having this development? The 1% richer people, the richest people of this country, they are benefiting out of these development. Not all the people are the part of it, and the problems are there with the people who are not having any kind of development. The poorest of the people, they are bearing the burden of it, of this climate change. They are not polluting much, and maybe they are not disturbing anywhere the situation around these people, but they are having the consequences here. Many people are dying of lung cancer, COPDs and all, and these are mostly the poor people who do not have any sources, and they cannot pay the hefty bills of the hospitals and all. So they are dying because of these troubles. And why they were created? Because you can see in the picture, this is all dust here, and that is being inhaled by these people. And you see these PM 2.5 and PM10, these are the most dangerous ones. PM 2.5 is much more dangerous because the size is very smaller, and the smaller size is inhaled by your breathing, and it is becoming the part of your body, and any kind of disease it may give to you. So that is the issue. Now here only one monitoring center is there in Varanasi. So many claims we saw about Varanasi, but only one air quality monitoring setup is there. So they need a lot of them. And one issue of that fall of that particular overbridge also we saw. So that was also a case of heavy ignorance. Now this ignorance is affecting lakhs of people, and they will have the consequence after 5-10 years. And the life is being shortened by this pollution, because you see, lungs, they cannot be repaired. Whatever damage will be there, that would remain. And you see, it is also a part of a national clean air campaign run by Environment Ministry, and where they targeted 100 cities, and they said that around 20% decline would be there in the pollution levels by 2024. And that was the best thing, that they gave a timeline. First time they gave a timeline, and that would be the factor of accountability here. So that's the very good thing here. And PM 2.5 level crossing almost all the days. So that's a severe problem here. So it is the typical case of a growing city. So there are many similar cases in this country. You can talk about any of this city, the same kind of conditions you would see. Ayampai, a pillar of modern architecture, he passed away. He was born in China, and he was living in America, and many important buildings he actually designed. So he was very famous. They may ask you about his details in some examination. Next, China to host Fest of Indian New Wave. Every year China takes foreign movies and all, and every year it takes a theme. So in October month there would be Pingyao International Film Festival, and here in this film festival they will showcase India's Ritwik Ghatak's movies, and these are going to be the retro movies, because these are from 50s, 60s and 70s movies. So this is a kind of a very nice thing. You see, the cultural diplomacy is very important thing. Bilateral relations, they can be improved with these kind of things, and these are very effective instruments. Okay, when the countries are fighting with each other, but people, they do not want any kind of war, any kind of escalation, any kind of negative environment, and these kind of things, they bring people closer. So this is regarding that. And Ritwik Ghatak was the Bengali director, an old director, and his movies would be showcased there. Now about the articles today. This is a political one, no need to discuss here. This is a ground reality, and this ground report, and it is also not important for the examination point of view. We will discuss this issue. Charting a clear house in the Indo-Pacific. It is regarding all our activeness, all our needs, and what we are doing. A lot of programs are mentioned here. So this is an very important article. GS paper 2 and 3 both would be important here. Here in this article, it says about the external situation and the challenges we have. You see, the manufacturing sector is going through a lot of troubles these days. It is a very lull phase in that area, and our current account deficit, it is around 15.9 billion dollars. So that is also huge, and it was only 48 billion dollar last year, and now it has reached up to 51.9 billion dollars. So this current account deficit, it's a kind of a situation where we are importing more and exporting less. We are importing a lot of gold also. We have a huge appetite for gold, and because of these rituals, marriages, ceremonies and all, where we are using gold, so we are importing gold heavily. So that is also raising this deficit here. And the petroleum products, you see, crude oil we are importing, but petroleum products, the finished ones, we are exporting. So that's a good market for us, and we are a good exporting country for the petroleum products. So if we leave that category aside, the petroleum products export category aside, then our merchandise export, that is actually going through 3% contraction. So that is also a cause of concern. So the writer says it is the election phase, and very soon we will have a new government. So they will have to see all these things, and consistently we have been talking about these issues. These data are not much important for us, because these are consistently changing. But the issue is that external problems, they remain, and challenges, they remain, and we need to sail through all these things. An export oriented manufacturing policy we need, industrial policy we need, and that we discussed in detail in the yesterday's lesson. So there we have all the important insight into that matter. So this is all for today in this article, sorry. And this article is regarding the European Union's parliament elections and the Brexit issue. Not important for us. We will not discuss that. This issue is important for GS paper 2 and 3 both, because it is talking about the policy and it is talking about the economy both. Next, charting a clear course in the Indo-Pacific region. You see, in April 19, we announced our Indo-Pacific wing in our External Affairs Ministry. So that was a very active move from our side. We are actually clubbing some important programs like ASEAN Regional Forum and our activeness in the Indo-Pacific region and IORA issues plus Quad group. I have told you many times about this Quad group: India, Japan, Australia and USA. These 4 countries are there in this Quad group, and they all are in a category where they are countering China. Okay, all countries are in a way countering China's influence there, leaving Australia aside, because Australia is not that much against China. It's far away and not many issues are there, but America certainly has many issues. America recently announced its ARIA Act. What is ARIA? Asia Reassurance and Initiative Act. ARIA Act, it brought it out in December 18. So that was very important. Here it said that we will support democracies financially, we will support all kinds of trade issues and all, we will support their securities and all, and we want a cooperation here, but the main aim is to counter China. Here India is a neighbor, but many issues with China, so India is very much beneficial for America. So that is why it's a great balancing thing, that we cannot bow much before America, and we can not be allowing ourselves to be a tool for America against China. This issue we should always make sure. And America has its own interest. China and Russia, they both are very much sensitive or very much skeptic about the Indian Ocean region, because here America's presence is there, and these 2 countries, they are always rivals for America, always want some trouble for each other. So this issue is very sensitive, and you see our Act East policy is the main thing here, and all these Southeast Asian nations and all, they are in between this area where Indo-Pacific region we are counting. So in our official Shangri-La dialogue also, Narendra Modi ji said that our eastern borders, they would extend borders of influence that would extend up to the Oceania region. Oceania means east to Australia, where small island kingdoms are there, countries are there. So this actually targets the geography, this actually targets the geopolitics, and it actually targets the strategic expanse here. So these are the main issues, but we need to raise these stakes up to economy, trade and all these cultural issues also, and we have been doing this thing. We have been very much active in the Southeast Asian nations. ASEAN +6 is the group where we are a member of +6, and when ASEAN, these are the group of 10 countries of Southeast Asian nations, but we became a group when ASEAN +3 first came, when after that ASEAN +6 came. So we became a member of +6 with Australia and New Zealand. So this was the active one. And you see, regarding the RCEP issue, that is the most important agreement between ASEAN group and India, and it is an important part of ASEAN +6 mechanism. East Asia Summit is also coming out of that same mechanism. So these are important programs, and these are all listed here. You please go and deal with all these programs, initiatives, find all the data, find all the details, and certainly 2-3 questions you will find directly or indirectly from these important topics only. So that is so important a list. IORA, I have given you many times the question regarding IORA. East Asia Summit, where India is a partner, so it becomes very important. In 15 examination it was asked, and in 16 also it was asked, and ADMM Plus that recently concluded, where India participated. ASEAN Region Forum is there. That is the important basis of this ASEAN cooperation. Mekong Economic Corridor. You see, Ganga rivers ends up in Bangladesh, and Mekong is actually touching the borders of Myanmar and all, and coming from Chinese southern region, and then going towards these Southeast Asian nations like these Vietnam and all these Cambodia and all. So Mekong River is very important. Please go through the atlas and find that which countries Mekong River is flowing through and where it is ending. It is ending in the South China Sea. So that's important. Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, the most important strategic tool we may say by Indian Navy and in this Indian Ocean region, where the participation is at the core. An Indo-Pacific Island Cooperation, which was started in 2014 as a forum, and we actually leaded all these countries, these small island nations located northeast to Australia, these Kiribati, Vanuatu, all these island groups. Okay, we actually became a leader for these countries because they had their own concerns related to climate change. The sea level is rising, all these countries are facing a great threat of existence, and they all will be submerged into ocean if the temperature does not stop for this world. But the problem remains here. But certainly we became a great hope for these countries, and we needed their support also in UN Security Council cooperation. So there also it was a great forum. So that is also working. They may ask you about that. India Africa Forum Summits, they are also going on, and there is a big boost since 2015 when these summits and all these invitations were there. All these countries attended India's India Africa Summit. So these are the important activeness, and these are all related to the Indo-Pacific region, because it is starting from African eastern borders going till Australia's eastern part. So this is a very, very important area, and we have been very much active here. So inclusiveness, openness, and ASEAN centrality, Indian centrality, unity, all these would be making a very important points when you will write these issues in mains examination. Then these would be the points, and here we need to work on these important points: freedom of navigation, unimpeded commerce, settlement of disputes, and common rule based order, international law. These are the crucial things which needed to be maintained. Okay, so good governance, consultation, transparency, viability, sustainability, these are the important solutions here. So these all countries which are located in this region, they all should come together, and they should all go in a way, in a united way, you may say. But America's presence creates problems here, because it is stopping China, Russia, all these Asian countries and their cooperation here. Otherwise, these countries would be very happy to attend these meetings and all these groupings and all, but certainly there are problems. So China is certainly there in ASEAN Plus 6 group, and this issue is there. But when we talk about the Indian Ocean, then it is more India centric, and America's presence here is all to counter China's issue, and it is beneficial for us also, because we have troubled relations with China. So China is circling us in this region, Indian Ocean region. So America's support may be crucial here. So both things are there. It may be beneficial, it may be very much problematic also. So we need to balance these issues to take advantage of this particular area, because of our cooperation in the piracy issues of Somalia coast, and a lot of trade is going through this particular Indian Ocean region, and the cooperation with the ASEAN countries and all. So these are important active areas where these can be very much beneficial for us if we are active in this area and we are balancing our bilateral and multilateral issues. But if we are not following these issues in a balanced way, then they can create a lot of problems, because moving towards America too much, that can give us troubles regarding to Russia and China, and these two are big countries and they are on a rise, and still we have good relations with all of them, and we do not have any problem with Russia. We do not have much problems with China. Things are going on, but these more inclination issues towards America, they may create problems. Already these trade issues and all are going on, and these tariff issues are going on. So we may have to balance always. Here, this free and open Indo-Pacific concept was unveiled by Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in 2016, and Australia released its foreign policy white paper in 2017, and which details Australia's Indo-Pacific vision centered around security, openness, and prosperity. So these are countries which are also very much active in this area. And as I told you, these two are the important members of the Quad group. And America also launched its ARIA Act, and the Indo-Pacific wing, it also talked about Indo-Pacific command, it actually renamed as. So America and all these countries, they are very much active, but the speculations and the suspicions remain with respect to China and Russia. They are very much skeptical about these moves and about these activities, but we have to balance these things. So this is all given in this particular article. All these bodies which are appearing here in the first paragraph, please go through all of them, and this is all here. And our move, as I told you, MEA's new division, that Indo-Pacific division, that is going to be very much important. Certainly this issue would be asked in the prelims this year. And for the mains examination, this article is extremely important. Every line is important, and all these issues which are appearing as inclusiveness, openness issues, sustainable issues, dispute mechanism, international law, these will make your mains answer very bright here. Okay, so this is all, and you can read the details here about the East Asia Summit. America and Russia, they are also the member of East Asia Summit, and it was on the ASEAN +6 mechanism. 18 countries were additional ones after the establishment of EAS, and first it was only 16 countries including India, but after that 18 countries they were included in that. So that's important. And first summit happened in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in 2005. These are important. And our forum, FIPIC, the Forum for India Pacific Island Cooperation, that I told you that in 14 it was started, and all these countries, these simple countries, smaller countries which are located here near the international date line and between Australia. So these are important. Fiji, we learned about a news where Madan Lokur was selected as the Supreme Court judge in Fiji. So that Fiji is there here. Okay, so that's important. These are the questions. Please look for their answers, look for the additional data, and these are going to be extremely important. And regarding that issue of a consequential seniority issue that we left on Wednesday, regarding that article, if I tell you, then it was the issue of reservation in the promotions. You see, in the constitutional values and in the constitutional arguments, this thing was said that equality is the main goal, and the representation of all the classes is the main goal. We are aiming for a good administration, we are aiming for good merit there, but certainly the argument given by the unreserved class, that merit is compromised when we are promoting the reserved candidates in promotions and in some jobs and education institutions. Then Supreme Court again and again quashed this argument, and again in a repeated sense, just 2-3 days back, it said that this argument does not hold any ground, because merit is not compromised much. The data shows that their representation is too less in number in the A class and B class services. So these people are not able to reach up to those levels, and how they can represent their communities, and the main aim of equality and the representation, that is defeated here totally. The issue of consequential seniority was that according to the government service rules, the age is an important factor. Age is also counted as a merit, because the more aged a person is, that more senior a person is, that person would be promoted first. But the seat to which he is going to be promoted, if that seat is reserved for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, or the OBC category, then the people from those communities, that person would be chosen first for the job. And he may be junior to this person, but that promotion would go to that reserved category person. That was the issue. So it was challenged, and it looks bizarre also that a senior person that should be promoted first, but it is the issue of representation, that these people, they are not able to represent themselves. Their numbers are so less in the higher levels, and they are less than 10% in number, and that is the biggest reason that the reservation in the promotion issue that remains, and this advantage is taken by the reserved categories. And there are always arguments and counter arguments. The people from the reserved categories, they will always support this move, and they will always say that it is our right because we are not represented well, and the merit argument is always given by the unreserved categories. So it's a long debate, and many issues needs to be resolved before that, and really reservation issue is a distorting one, but the case of representation is also very, very important. And the data shows that in the university, when they are becoming lecturers, professors, their representation of the reserved categories, that is too less. Sometimes there are no OBC SC candidates in professorships and in some A class services, in some civil services and all. There also this thing was seen that there is very less number of the senior level officials from those categories. So that's why this reason is too strong to counter by the unreserved category people, and that remains, and Supreme Court again decided in the favor of reserved categories. So this was all for that, and this was the issue of consequential seniority. Okay, so we will meet again tomorrow, and tomorrow it would be a Sunday session, important session. We will talk about the endangered categories and important reserved protected animals and all, and many other important questions, MCQs we will take tomorrow, so that this lesson would be totally prelims oriented. So thanks a lot. Keep watching to Submit Signing. PDF you will get here.